Hi everyone, it's Nikki here and I'm coming to you from Glasshouse 2 at Family Fresh Farms. And Family Fresh Farms is based on the central coast of New South Wales in Australia. And this is, well, I think the date today is the 6th of August. So we're still in winter here and it's a beautiful, I think it's probably about 23 degrees in here today. So we're middle of winter, we've got the beautiful sunshine, lots of beautiful radiation, the temperature's not too hot. And I'm actually in here and it's very, very quiet. We've already finished our harvest for the day and we do have a couple of people going along. So we're using the biotwine at the moment, which is a cotton-based string, which is really good for biodegradable. But unfortunately, when you get high humidity or sometimes the clipping guns are cutting through them, so we're having some of our plants drop down. And so we've got a little team in here with scissor lifts, just picking up some of the plants and retiring them onto the strings and hooking them back up. So it's really lovely and quiet in here. So I just thought I'd take the opportunity to get along and do my episode 14. So for those of you who've been following along at home, I promised to myself on the first, my New Year's resolution on the 1st of January of 2026 was to do 24 vlogs by the end of the year. And so I've done 13, I've only got 11 to go. And so my episode 14 is all about constraints. Now that sounds really weird and it seems so restrictive, but sometimes being restricted and not having a huge budget or having a huge staff or having huge pots of money or time. So constraints is something I listened to a really good podcast on the weekend on Sunday. I try and listen to David Senra's latest podcast, and he interviewed a guy, and I'm going to actually butcher his surname, but he goes by the handle DHH, so it's David Heinemeier Hansson. And he is an incredible entrepreneur and founder, and he talked about creating businesses without VCs and with small teams and doing a few things but doing them really well. And it really resonated with me because here at Family Fresh Farms we seem like we're only 5 hectares. So for high-tech production, and in this day and age where you hear these huge big 40 hectare, 30 hectare, 100 acres, these huge big projects around the world that are high tech, they're really big, and so they, it can be, and it's very, very impressive. So we have 5 hectares, which is relatively small. I mean, compared to a mom and pop operation, it's probably quite big, but we have constraints with size. We can't get any bigger on this property. We are not expanding and buying out the neighbors, but we are trying to be the very best of what we are in a constraint size. And it actually is really empowering in some ways that you don't hide your inefficiencies or your probably some in scale. You're not, you cannot, we are constrained by size, and so we have to be really operationally sound. We have to be super, super efficient so that we can be competitive with the people who are got scale. So it's an interesting way, and I'm really proud of the way we operate, and it goes down to the team. I'm not saying it's all about me, it's about our cohesive team. It's been able to do a lot more with less, and that in itself is, and also looking at the detail and making sure that every plant, every square meter, every part of our pack house and glass houses is totally functional and effective. And it goes down to our maintenance team too. So having everything, making sure we've got everything on schedule maintenance, making sure everything is serviced correctly, and that when things break, you fix them straight away, because every time you're working with something not functioning 100%, you don't realize how inefficient and ineffective you become. So that's my lesson today. I think it's going to be short and sharp and sweet. It's all about sometimes putting constraints, not having the biggest budget, putting things in place that, yes, people come and visit us and they're blown away by our TV screens and our pack shed, and they're blown away by, our wonderful offices, and I'd make sure they're reminded that we started on picnic tables, and we didn't have these built-in cupboards, and we did start in the pack house without the TV screens, and I think it almost took me 4 years of working here and putting them into budgets and making sure, and I didn't want to put up one TV screen and then another. I wanted to go all four. I wanted each line, so everyone in the line knew exactly what they were packing, what was on next, what the next order was, what the best before date is, you know, cohesive working in the pack house. And yes, you know, it's, you know, things look like they all were, you know, put on a plate for us. No, it was blood, sweat and tears to get everything. And I just wanted to comment on amazing Bright. He's the supervisor in Glasshouse 2, a young guy who started with us when he was just a baby, really. I think he traveled when he was about 22 years old. They're not allowed to travel until they're 21. He traveled when he was 22, just a baby, and he just keeps stepping up and taking on more and more responsibility. And he is really running this glass house like it's his own, and it is his own. And he's got everything ready. So at the start of tomorrow, the trolleys are all in place. He knows exactly where people are going to be working, what they need to be doing, and I love it. Preparation is key, and we live it every single day. It's not just you know, a vlog about look at us. We literally live it. So at the end of every day, everything has to be tidied up. It's immaculate in here. So gloves are ready, trolleys are ready. Everything that we need to do our jobs tomorrow is ready today. And Bright is signed out of Glasshouse 1, and he's now gone ahead and he's working in he's signed out of Glasshouse 2, beg your pardon, and he is gone to Glasshouse 1 to work beside Kennedy. They are doing a, you know, end of harvest there. They're finishing off, getting everything ready, so that today we can have everyone signed out of the glass houses, and by 2:30, so they can catch the afternoon bus, which leaves the farm at 3 o'clock, and they can go to town, do their shopping, banking, do their, you know, get any personal errands they want done, and so that they're ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday here in Australia, and so we have got obviously jobs lined up for tomorrow. But yeah, so sometimes constraints are good, and I'm sitting here with some of our cucumbers. You know, sometimes small is definitely better. So they say dynamite comes in small packages, and I think that's exactly what the cuke stands for. Healthy, nutritious snack coming in a small packaging. And I'm delighted to say my grandson Herbie, he was in here in one of the glass houses with me yesterday, and he was snacking away. And there's nothing better than being able to pick up a healthy snack off the vine, and he got a lot of thrill out of picking his cucumber and eating it. So that's it from me, and that is blog 14 done and dusted.